The anime commences in a school, where a boy persistently pursues Aika Natsukama, a girl, and asks her to accompany him on her walks. He is nasty to Aika and told that he annoys her, but the boy does not seem to mind and keeps following her. As a football flies in his direction, he introduces himself as Wataru Sajo, a male high school student. He is like a stalker guy who we see on every campus, and he is madly in love with Aika, but Aika doesn't want Sajo to follow her, so she asks Sajo to not stalk her anymore. Sajo agrees and Aika walks away. Sajo enters his classroom and Aika's friend thinks Sajo is acting different. She asks Sajo if he is okay. Sajo tells her that he is fine. Their teacher enters the classroom and she is also surprised by how Saja isn't following around Aika today. When Saja is walking outside, Aki reminds him not to stalk her anymore. Sajo tells her that he is just going to the washroom and acts cold. His friends ask him if something is wrong, but Sajo tells them that everything is fine. Everyone finds it weird how cold Sasha is pretending to be because he is madly in love with Aika and is the kind of guy who would do anything for her. He returns to his class and Aika calls him with a low voice. Sajo asks if she called him and Aika denies it. She asks Sajo where he was going. Sajo is going to the cafeteria to have his meal. Everyone is surprised because he would always forsake to eat with him, whereas he didn't even ask her today. Sajo eats his lunch outside and a girl named Rina Nizawa approaches him. She talks with Saju for some time and walks away. Saja goes to his class and learns that Ren came there to talk with him. Sajo becomes very confused and his friend asks if he started liking Ren. Sajo makes it clear that Aika will be the only crush in his life. Soon Aika enters the class and she looks very annoyed. Sajo looks at her, but she ignores him. Sajo was drinking water and a girl named Kei Ashid, best friend of Aika, tells Saja that Renat already has a boyfriend in the second year. She made a boyfriend when she was in middle school and her boyfriend was in the first year back then. Sajo looks a bit off and Kate asks him if he is concerned about Renee. Sajo wants to ask something to Kei and Aki, but Renette interrupts. Kei asks Ren why she broke up with her ex-boyfriend, but Ren doesn't reveal anything. Kei then continues talking badly about Ren, and Ren gets mad at Kei. She walks out angry, saying they had no right to talk about her ex. Sajo goes outside and apologizes on their behalf. Renette asks him why he loves Aika so much. When Sajo was in middle school, he liked a girl and confessed his love to her. She insulted him a lot and her boyfriend punched him in his face. She was very rude to him. When he met Aika, she was very nice to him and Saji liked that, so he fell for Aika. Renee reveals that she heard her ex-boyfriend saying he liked someone else, so she broke up with him and is now trying to make him jealous. Kei and Aka were now with her boyfriend. She patched up with him. They meet Sajo in class and notice he is off again. Sajo wants to end things with Aika because he got rejected so many times and all his friends are shocked. Aika meets Saja in his home and asks him why he was being so cold recently. Well, Sajo thinks it is time for him to move on from her. Sajo tells her that he will stop following her from tomorrow and Aka becomes sad. Aka and Sandra were sitting separately and Aka was all alone. Kei blames Sajo for this since he followed Aka so much. She never got time to make other friends, and he should take responsibility. Sajo doesn't want to directly approach her anymore, but decides to support her from afar. Sanjo notices how Aka has no friends except Kei. He wonders if Aka will be fine soon. The president of the school committee for morals and discipline, Miss Chinami, approaches him and asks if he bumped into her junior, Yu, in Anatomy the other day. Well, he apologizes and tries to leave. Chinamia stops him and asks for his help. Her juniors are hardworking but lack confidence, and she doesn't know how to solve that. Sajo thinks it's natural for her juniors to be nervous. After seeing a highly confident president like Chinamia, she becomes flattered and tells Sajo to not praise her anymore. Well, Sanjo suggests to her to tell them how great they are doing and motivate them to do the same. She can also sympathize with them, which will increase their confidence. He then walks out, and Chinamia asks him his name. Sajo lies about his name and tells her that he is Yamazaki for some reason and walks away. Saja is with his sister and ready to go to school together with her. His sister asks him if he has talked with the girl he brought home the other day. She was talking about Aika. Sanjo tells her that he talks with her casually like classmates. His sister thinks he should talk with her more properly, and soon Aka passes by. Sanjo goes near her and wishes her a good morning. She wants to ask something to Saja, but she holds back. Anyway, Sandra goes to school only to discover that Shinamiya came to his class searching for him because he gave the wrong name. She meets Saja and asks him to meet her in the student council room later during lunch break. Sajo agrees, and his friend Yamazaki comes from behind and hits Saja. He actually liked Shinami, and when she came searching for Saja, she talked with Yamazaki. Anyway, Kei comes near Sajo and asks how he knows the president of the Students' Council. Sanjo tells her that it is a long story. He meets Shinamia during the break and brings food for her. He only brought food enough for 2 people, but you was also there. He didn't know this, so he gives you a chocolate, but you doesn't take it. Sanjo gives the chocolate to Shinamiya. Shinamiya asks Sajo why he gave her the wrong name. Sanjo didn't want the head of the student council to know his name, so he gave his friend's name. Shinamiya understands but tells Saja that it isn't good to get your friend in trouble. Sajo tells Shinamiya his friend liked it when she visited him, but Shinamiya becomes confused as one person wants to avoid her and another person wants to give his name to her. Sanjo tells her that you knows the reason of her becoming shy and tells her that she is beautiful and that might be the reason you is very insecure when it comes to men. He apologizes to Sajo because she didn't act right when Sanjo stumbled with her. Sanjo tells her that she is great and walks away. He notices how Aika is making new friends and becomes happy. His sister messages him to help with some work, so he helps her and returns home. The next day, Aika's friend decides to come over to her home, but Sanjo decides not to go. AKA becomes sad and asks Sanja if he really won't come. Before Sanjo could answer, Shinamiya interrupts and takes Sanjo with her. She asks Sanjo what he really thinks about. Sanjo tells her that he is disappointed in her. She wasn't apologizing for Sanjo, she was apologizing for herself because she didn't like herself and felt guilty for not acting right. Shinamiya really likes how Sanjo knows people with a single interaction. Well, it is Sanjo's talent, I guess. We see Aika's friend in her home, but Sanjo wasn't there, which may take a little bit sad. Sanjo comes to the classroom, and Kei approaches him. Sanjo tells her not to get near him with that scanty clothing she was wearing. A summer uniform. Kate tells Sanja that he should watch AKA in her summer uniform. Well, Sanjo knows he cannot resist AKA's cuteness if he watches her in short clothes, so he passes on that offer. Their teacher arrives, so they get to their seats. Sanjo's friend asks Sanjo why he didn't come to AKA's place. Sanjo simply replies by saying he wasn't invited and sees some pictures of the party. He sees his friend taking pictures with Aika's little sister and saves them. He forwards the pictures to Yuki, his friend's sister, because she asked Sanjo to report on her big brother. Sanjo is having lunch alone, and his friend Yamazaki invites him to have lunch together with his group. Sanjo also agrees and talks with some girls while having lunch. Those girls asked Sanjo if he is going out with him or not. Sanjo makes it clear that they are just classmates. Aika comes there and takes Sanjo away. She looked very angry, and Sanjo doesn't understand why. Aika tells him that he was talking with those girls, so she was angry, but it isn't what he thinks. She is jealous but doesn't want to let her emotions slip, so she walks out in anger. Sanjo is sitting in his classroom, and someone from the student council comes to meet him. He takes Sanjo to a room and asks about his big sis. His big sis was also an important member of the student council, and she has been a little sad lately. The guy asks Sanjo why he has changed so much recently and why he stopped following the girl he had a crush on for so many years. Sanjo doesn't want to answer that question. The guy tells him that his big sister is worried because he is so different. She thinks she is the one to blame for his sadness because she never gave special attention to him or respected him. Sanjo tells him that his big sis is usually like that and it is normal, but the guy insists that she is sad and he wants Sanjo to talk to her. He takes Sanjo to the rooftop where he meets his big sis. She was waiting for her friend, but her friend would not come there. She wanted to talk to Sandra, but she was ashamed, so she was set up by her friends. Sanjo asks his big sis about 10 good things about him and she cannot answer. Sanjo then asks for 10 ordinary traits about him and she gives him more than 10 points. Sanjo is an ordinary boy and he will remain that way. He thinks his big sis fits the role of being a rude sister instead of a kind sister. Aika was overhearing this and comes there. She asks Sanjo to apologize to his big sis as she was being kind and Sanjo didn't appreciate it. He asks Aika why she was there. Was she following him? Aika gets embarrassed and runs away. While returning home, he thinks about Aika, who was so weird today. He wonders what she feels about him. He brings his big sis her favorite food and clicks her picture while she is eating it to embarrass her. Well, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and have a good day.